Hi, I'm Vince Molinari, and welcome to FinTech TV. We're broadcasting from the iconic New York Stock Exchange, and I'd like to welcome Michael Zhao, who's the founder and CEO of Klickl. Michael, Klickl, what a great name. Tell me about it.
Well, Klickl is actually a name that we come up with, right? It's just like Google. And Klickl is click and connect. Two things together, boom, you got Klickl.
I get it. Clicking and connecting. Tell me a little bit about the origination, the vision. What's Klickl all about?
Klickl is actually a first client-centric, destination-agnostic Web3 banking solution. We're actually a fintech company focusing in the digital asset space.
Well, there is quite an abundance within that. So when we talk about the future of Web3 banking, where do you see it, and how does Klickl fit into that?
I mean, overall, I'm very happy to be back here. You know, Bitcoin is trading above $70,000.
Feels a whole lot better, right?
Yes, right. A lot of people are getting ready for the next leg higher. But you know, there's actually a fundamental industry-wide problems that no one have actually think about how to resolve. Is crypto community is actually unbanked, right? And this type of thing is getting more pronounced after the market events over the last few years. And this is exactly where Klickl vision try to remove that friction by providing a crypto-friendly banking solution to all those major players in the crypto space.
That's a major pain point to solve for.
Yep.
What makes Klickl different, and how is it going after that pain point to solve for the entire industry, basically?
Yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of people try to resolve that problems from different angles, right? But you know, think about it. Traditional finance actually operate in a particular jurisdiction, but the digital economy operate in a borderless fashion, right? When you put those two things together, that's where the disconnect happen, right? Those two things fundamentally doesn't click, right? So, you know, we come up with something called destination-agnostic. We don't think actually it's one bank's responsibility to provide a solution like that. We fundamentally change how people interact with financial institutions within the crypto space. And by providing that, we actually offer a risk profiling system that everyone will have a crypto-friendly bank account. I think that's the secret formula.
Well, you know, I've got to pull back into Click and Connect again. So when you talk about the nature of crypto, blockchain, digital assets globally, right, we're talking about decentralized.
Yeah.
And when you then get into communities, right, that have historically been walled gardens or have barriers, I imagine this has to be more difficult to create that connectivity or that click and connect. So how do you achieve that?
I mean, you know, talking about that, right, a lot of people are actually complaining about the banks, the regulators not supporting enough, right? But you know, they say don't hate the player, hate the game, right? we think the banks, the regulators are doing everything they could to actually provide the transparency to maintain the stability of the financial market. And being decentralized is the good thing in theory, but it's actually a process, right? We think it's actually a gradual process where we build a centralized foundation with proper control and risk, and from there we can have the true decentralization.
Well, you know, being a historic TradFi guy myself, when I look at risk mitigation, right, very essential component of everything that we do. Talk to me a little bit about segments that you're targeting, and where do you start with this master plan?
Yeah, I mean, like Klickl is actually, we built Klickl out of Abu Dhabi, right, in UAE, right? So it's actually a region has growing brand equity, accommodating policy over there. People are supporting. So we actually built Klickl from that region. A lot of people saying that, it's a regional story. It's actually a regional approach to serve a global phenomenon. And then we have a very clearly defined client segment, right? We focus the crypto community, right? We support all the global exchanges, right? The Web3 project, the DeFi traders want to expand to new regions, right? That's the first segment we support. We also actually support the small SME merchants, right? I think payment as a strong use case is actually the best thing for crypto. And then exactly the second segment is where we actually support those people. So we're not only focused on 1% of the crypto community, but also we're focused on 99% of people who are not in crypto.
Well, you know, I really relate and understand the approach to Abu Dhabi and ADGM, and really how forward-thinking they've been around regulation, digital assets, and the way you present that as your starting point to embrace, to globalize from there makes tremendous sense. And when you talk about the movement from the 1%, because everybody likes to talk about mass adoption, but it's not going to happen at the 1%, right?
Exactly, right? And I think that's also another USP for Klickl, right? You know, Klickl is actually a real showcase for collaborative approach for the entire crypto community, right? It doesn't just take one Klickl, it's actually all our ecosystem partners, right? We have a lot of support from global exchanges like Crypto.com, Bullish, BitSmart. They provide our liquidity provisions. We also have, you know, ADGM. They provide transparency, clarity. You know, they kind of guide through this journey. We also have, you know, strong partners like Summer Capital, Heritage Horizons, will bring resources to us, as well as the layer 1 protocols like Aptos, right? So it's actually the entire ecosystem working together towards that end goal together.
Well, I think that is essential, right? And you're leading by example when you talk about collaboration. And, you know, talk to me a little bit about what I think is the case, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'll call it almost this extended collaboration or bridge building from crypto digital world to TradFi.
Yeah.
That seems to be another essential element.
Absolutely, right? I mean, I start up, you know, why I say I'm very happy, right? I actually started my career here 20 years ago working on Wall Street as a derivative trader. So I have the very strong domain knowledge and traditional finance background. And I was also a former regulator for the Central Bank of China, right?
I didn't know that.
Yes,
yeah,
right?
right.
You know, that actually managed to bring a lot of comfort level, right? When I talk to regional and global regulators, right? For them to understand this emerging technology and alternative asset class, right? So I think those two things together coped with our crypto native nature, right? I think crypto, the founding team's been involved in the crypto market for the past 8 years, right? You know, we're not talking about some new team on a block, right? We went through 2-3 different circles, right? So it allows us to understand, right, to deliver the true value in an organized, control, and compliant way. And this is the only way we think for the market to grow and scale in a meaningful way.
But I have to pull on that thread a little bit, because what appears to be the DNA of Klickl, and having regulated background, I never knew that you were a regulator, and the true crypto native world, I better understand of why you've embraced regulation so much. So talk to me a little bit about your belief and your view of regulation, and I believe you're regulated in ADGM?
Yes. Talking about being regulated, right, we actually talk about a licensing smart approach, right? I think it's long gone by the days where you could just go to every country, get a license, and operate from there, right? So I think the experience that we have over the past many years allow us to find the most, the best actual license, right? And then we structure those together. So fundamentally, we create a global licensing scheme, right? Both from traditional finance as well as crypto world, right? Which allow us to operate the business model we want to deliver. And also, you know, it's a commitment, right? I mean, they say 2 roads diverge no routes, right? We choose the less traveled one, and that hopefully have made all the difference, right? You know, besides the blue sky scenario, I mean, there's a lot of commitment from the entire Klickl team and our partners, day in, day out, right? Lobbying to the regulators, providing feedbacks, right? Working with authorities, with banks, let them fully understand our compliant and regulated, robust program, so that they will give us the blessing, right? I think you know, I can talk about this for forever, but you know, we're working in an industry that's so vibrant and you know, in a very nascent stage. That's why, you know, I think it's really 24/7, right? It used to be a forex trader is 5 and 24. Now it's 7 and 24. So I think, you know, really excited.
Absolutely. Well, there's so much more to talk about. I'd love to have you back again, Michael. Share the advancements of not only Klickl, but your industry insights and what's happening from a global lens.
Absolutely, right? You know, they say same coins, different days, right? We say once you connect, click and connect, is Klickl every day.
Love it.
Thank you.
Michael, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, buddy.
Our
Cheers.
pleasure.